So as I read for you Job chapter 9 verse 24, it reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" That's a good question. If the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, if YAHUAH covereth the faces of the judges, if not, where and who is he? It's a good question. The judges are in fact Israel, as we know. Only Yasharal could be judges. And as the world would have it, the so-called Jews over there in the land, they say that they are in fact from the tribe of Yehuda, that they are Yehudans. But if the scriptures also say that until the end I will scatter my people to the four corners of the earth, then who are the imposters over there in the land? Certainly not Yahuwah's chosen people. And in fact, this definition says exactly who they are. The people who are experiencing obscurity, destruction, death. Who's being killed every day? Who's being killed for no reason most of the time? Black people. People of color. Who is the most wickedness towards in this earth? Who is greatly hated, mostly hated in this realm? You guessed it, black people. The scriptures, this definition also says darkness means to be or become dark. Grow dim, be darkened, be black, be hidden, to make dark. Seems like if the world doesn't know, or if we don't know that the so-called African Americans are the true people of YAHUAH, then we must be hidden. We are definitely concealed. Goes on to say to hide. We are the hidden ones. Confused. To be dark. Withholding light. So the judges in those days, our ancestors, were the ones who judged Israel. They were the ones with the light, or with the light. They were the lawgivers. They presented judgment upon a matter, or upon the people. So if YAHUAH has withholded the light to darken, to cause darkness, that is why all hell is breaking out in this world. And until we are in our rightful places, and the judges, once again, the true judges, or are on the throne, or sit in the seat, it's only going to get worse. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Wake up, my people. We've been duped. We've been tricked. We're living in the matrix, and we have been taught to believe that they are the chosen ones and that we are not. And in fact, it's the total opposite. So Job 28, Job 9 and 28 says, "I am afraid of all my sorrows. I know that thou wilt not hold me innocent." So again, the definition also of darkness is sorrow. So Job is stating here that he is afraid of his sorrows and that he knows that the Most High will not hold him innocent. So I want for you to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Verses 28, 29, 30, and 32. And it reads, "And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. And no man shall save thee. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof." Who does this sound like to you, people? Right, our ancestors, our forefathers, the slaves. "And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways." We can't seem to get ahead for anything. And okay, I'm not saying everyone. There's a minority among us that are rich and wealthy. But the majority of us are not wealthy. We are in fact poor. "And thou shalt be only oppressed." Every day we wake up, it seems like we're becoming more and more oppressed. And yet I thought we were freed from slavery. Right? That's what they tell us in school, right? That we're free. Last time I checked, we're still in the land of our captivity. Sounds like we're still in bondage. And even though it's not so much a physical bondage anymore, even though it is, it's more of a mental slavery. Our minds are in chains. Chains to the system. Chains to the matrix. Our minds are in the matrix. "And no man shall save thee." No man shall save thee. What does that mean? To me, that means that we must still be in the land of our captivity. Because last time I checked, no man was able to save us. And the only way that we will be free is when Yahusha comes again with 10,000s of thousands by his side and delivers us from the hand of the enemy. And I understand all those who believe in the flea doctrine, or the doctrine that states that we must go back to the land, return back to the land. But what land? That's not our land over there. They can have it. Because Yahuwah said that he's going to destroy all of this. And John said, "And lo, I beheld new heavens and new earth." None of that over there belongs to me anymore. In fact, the garden that Adam got kicked out of was taken to heavenly places. The new Jerusalem, it says, shall descend from heavenly places. So where are we running to? Because this says right here that no man shall save thee. That we will be in the land of our enemy until he comes. And when in fact it is time to go or to hide, my sheep hear my voice and another they will not follow. So we will know when the time comes to hide or to conceal ourselves. But Yahuwah will be the lead of that. He will cover us. Psalms 91. In his pavilion, he will cover us. So it says, and thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Now, last time I checked, who is the only nation or the only group of people that a man betrothed or was married to, and another man lied with them against your will, against your wishes? Sounds like the slaves to me. Sounds like my ancestors, my forefathers. So who again are the children of Yahuwah? Who are the children of Yasharah? Who is the tribe of Yehuda? The tribe of Benjamin? The tribe of Levi? The tribe of Simeon? The tribe of Naphtali? The tribe of Ephraim? The tribe of Manasseh? You can probably 99% find our people amongst the nations that have been raped, plundered, spoiled, oppressed, killed, defeated. Verse 32 says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Who does that sound like to you? Right, the slaves, our ancestors and our forefathers. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. And as we watch slave movies, we see they always show as a child or a mother or a father, whichever one is being sold into another slave master or unto another plantation. They always show the other slaves standing around the plantation watching as the family member or the other slave is taken away. Longing with no might, nothing they can do. Now, who do you know that would willingly stand by and just let a family member be taken from them? Or their wife being raped by another man? And our forefathers and ancestors weren't always without might. If you read the scriptures, read the sacred texts, read the apocryphas, the books that the Vatican has that they took from us. If you read these other books, and even in the scriptures, you'll see the might and the power and the stature of our people. Our men were powerful. They were the most powerful people in this realm. They were strong with the might of physically, but more than that, they had the might of Yahuwah. The might of the Most High went before them. He fought our battles. And Yahuwah asked our ancestors to choose you this day. Blessings or cursings. And when we chose to be disobedient, curses is what we got. And that is the only reason why we find ourselves still in the land of our captivity, not able to overtake these demons, this nation that is not a nation, a people that is not a people, as Yahuwah said. I will provoke you to jealousy with a people that has never been a people. That's deep. They've never even been a people. And yet they tower over us. They rule over us. They are now our power Because when the ultimate power said that I have betrothed you to me as a chastened virgin, pure and only to myself, we said, oh, we'll chase after other mighty ones. We'll go after other powers. Let us be as the heathen. Let us have a king like unto the other nations. Let us have a king that we can touch, that we can look at, one of stature and power and good looks. When all along Yahuwah was saying, let me love you. I'm all that you need. I am that I am. Ahaya, Asha, Ahaya. Whatever you need me to be, that's what I will be. Eternally, continually. But because we chose death and not life, he gave us over to death. And when our ancestors told Pilate, we have no king but Caesar, Yahuwah does not take lightly what we say out of our mouth. The power of life and death lies in the power of our tongues. And as our ancestors spoke those words out of their mouth so many generations ago, so many centuries ago, in ancient times, in ancient places, Yahuwah took hold of that and he said, I've bonded you to your word. Pilate said, even Pilate had enough sense to say, I find no fault in this man. I wash my hands of his blood. And our ancestors, our forefathers in their ignorance had the audacity to say, his blood shall be upon our hands, our heads, and the heads of our children's children. And Yahuwah says, so be it. And that is why we are groping around in the noonday over here in the land of our captivity, worshiping Caesar Bonjour. Yes, this Jesus that we serve, I don't serve any longer. All praises to YAHUAH and YAHUSHA. That I know the truth, that he awakened me to the truth of the fact of who he is. But the majority of our people are still groping, are still asleep. They're still in the matrix. They still bow down and worship white Jesus. What has white Jesus done for us? Did he ever deliver us? No, because we're still in the land of our captivity. And since we said, give us a king unto our likeness that we can look upon and touch and talk to face, because in the wilderness, Yahuwah came to our forefathers and he spoke directly to them. And they told Moshe, no. They told Moses, no. Go back and tell Yahuwah to speak directly to you, and you give us what he would have us to say. It was too much for the people. But Yahuwah has always wanted to be a present power. He's always wanted to speak directly to us, to walk with us, to hold our hands, to be intimate with us, to fellowship with us. And we traded all of that for death. We traded all that to get a king from a people who is not a people. And so the majority of our people and all of the world serve white Jesus. Caesar Bonjour. Look it up. He's a real person. He was a real person. And Yahuwah took our forefathers at their words that they spoke out of their mouth. They spoke death out of their mouth, and he gave us death. And all these years later, we're groping in the noonday, serving King Caesar. Wake up, people. Job 5:14. Job 5:14 reads, they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. It's talking about us people, so-called African Americans. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. So I'm going to begin to read a few of these scriptures. I won't be before you long. Genesis 1:2 states, go way back to the beginning. In order to get to the end, we must come back to the beginning. In order to become light, we must go back to the light, back to the light giver. In the beginning, Yahuwah created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Ruach of Yahuwah moved upon the face of the waters. So, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So there Yahuwah got me to see that even before light, there was darkness. And in order to receive the light, we must go through the darkness. We had to become darkness. He told Adam in the book of Adam and Eve, or Adam and Yahuwah. He told Adam, Adam, you must go through this. Because Adam wanted to just go back into the garden. He repented. And though Yahuwah wanted him to, he said, now you must go through the darkness. But I will promise you that I will deliver your descendants. And so in order to receive the light, we must go through the darkness. We must literally walk through the darkness. But Yahuwah is in the darkness. He is with his people. And just like the saying said, where is the safest place? In the storm, in the eye of the needle, in the eye of the storm. So my prayer has been, don't remove the storm or the obstacle. And now my prayer is even, don't remove the darkness, but be with me through the darkness. Be my light in the darkness so that I may find the light, that I may get back to the light. So he got me to see that even before there was light, there was darkness. So the darkness is not bad. It's what is done in the darkness, what becomes of the darkness. Because later it goes on to say in verse 3, and Yahuwah said, let there be light, and there was light. And Yahuwah saw the light, verse 4, that it was good, and Yahuwah divided the light from the darkness. So he actually took the light from the darkness. That's powerful. That's powerful, people. So in order to see the light of day, we must go through the darkness. He who endures to the end, it is he that shall be saved. Not he who avoids the not he who does not endure, or he who does not endure the darkness, but he that endures the darkness shall see the light. So Exodus 10:20-21 reads, Exodus 10:21 reads, and Yahuwah said unto Moshe, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, and that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And Moshe, verse 22, stretched forth his hand toward the Shemarims, or towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. Reminds me of the 3 days that the Mashiach had to go through. Darkness, complete and utter thick darkness, to be able to deliver us into the light. So if Yahusha had to go through complete thick darkness, and I'll give you the definition of thick in a moment, but even the Mashiach had to go through complete and utter darkness, again, he had to go back to the beginning to get to the light. Then who are we to say, Yahuwah, take away the darkness? So it reads, and Yahuwah said unto Moshe, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And that is why in the book of Adam and Eve, or Adam and Yahuwah, you know, as I stated before, when Adam was asking Yahuwah to take this darkness away, he could not see. And when they entered into the cave of treasures, they did not want to enter because the first night was complete and utter darkness. But Yahuwah had to get them to understand. He had to get them to see what it felt like to be separated from himself. They had to feel the darkness, as this said. And Egypt felt the darkness. And so even us, we had to leave the land. Yahuwah said, okay, you've tainted my land. You've tainted my land. You've desecrated the temple. You've defiled my land. Now I need you to remove yourselves, so I don't destroy you. Because the land was kadosh. It was set apart. It was pure. It was from heavenly places, and it could not be tainted. It could not be defiled. That's why the scriptures say sin separates us from Yahuwah. It's not Yahuwah that separates himself from us or who goes away from us, but we go away from him. And that is why, in fact, Yahuwah, he could not depart from his land or depart from what is himself, the Akkad, the oneness. That's why he said, you have to go. I'll clean you up in the land of your captivity. I'll make you remember yourselves in the land of your captivity. I will provoke you to jealousy in the land of your captivity. And that's just what happened. So we had to feel the thick darkness. And we still feel it. I can literally feel it. I can physically feel the darkness. Especially now more as I read these other books that, you know, by no coincidence they took away from us, you know, because it is our history and not theirs. And it's funny how, you know, they say his story, not my story. You know, white supremacy is over everything. So why don't they call it my story? You know, my story. Let's go to my story. What class time is it at school? My story. No, his story. Thank you, Qadash Ruach. Just drop that into my Ruach right now. It's no coincidence why they call it his story or his story, because it's not their story. It's in fact our story. Thank you, Yahuwah. All praises to Yahuwah and Yahusha. And so, as I was stating, I can literally feel the darkness. I can feel the darkness as it sets in around us, that it actually envelopes us, and it's actually trying to become a part of us. And that is why Yahusha said in the scriptures, to my people, come from among them and be ye separate. What does light have to do with darkness? Because way back in Genesis chapter 1 verse 4, he says he took the darkness from the light. He took the light from the darkness, he separated it, and he called the darkness night, and the light he called day. So it has to be separated. There has to be a division between light and darkness. Because only light can stand in his presence. Only light can be in eternal places. Only Ruach is eternal. not this flesh. This flesh is darkness. This flesh is defiled. It's filthy. It must come off. And that's why as we awaken to this truth, we begin to pull off different parts of us, the wickedness, the darkness that tried to consume us. We pull it off. We separate ourselves from it. We separate ourselves from the darkness, and we choose to walk in the light. That's why he says, if you walk in the Ruach, you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. All praises to Yahuwah. I remember at one point in my journey where it happened to me twice, where I literally got up as it was still like dark outside, right before daylight, and I remember falling to my knees, and I remember just crying out, beginning to cry out for Yahuwah to deliver me from this flesh, physically, literally. And I began to try to tear off the flesh off of my body. I didn't want it on me anymore. And I know that's drastic for most, but nevertheless, my journey is not your journey, my story not your story. And Yahuwah deals with us in different ways. And I just remember just crying out and asking him to deliver me from this body of, this wretched body. And who was it in the scriptures that said, I think it was Sheol that said, "O wretched man that I am, who can deliver me from this body of sin, this body of wickedness? Only YAHUAH YAHUSHA." And I remember just literally physically trying to tear the skin off my body. This flesh, I didn't want it on me anymore. I know that it taints us. It holds us to this place. It keeps us in bondage to the king of the night. Literally, it keeps us to this place. And it's funny how Satan and Semjaza and all of the other fallen angels, whoever reads deeper into the stories, but there were sects of demons that actually fell with Satan. It wasn't just Satan. It was Semjaza was actually a fallen angel that fell not because of pride but because of lust. And it's funny how the opposite, when we are desiring or longing to become children of light once again, we literally want to tear off this flesh. We want this flesh off of us, this garment that holds us to this place, holds us captive or bondage to the king of the night, Satan. We actually are trying to take it off, to put on the robe of righteousness or the garment of light. The light body that Adam lost is in fact the robe of righteousness that Yahusha wants to give us at the wedding feast. Awake, arise, put on thy strength, put on thy robes of righteousness. And it's funny how when they failed, they said, let's put on flesh so that we may go into the daughters of man. They saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they took themselves wives. And it's like, that's backwards. Why would they want to come here after knowing all that? To come here to put on this shell, this bondage. It literally holds us to this realm, and we cannot, this flesh cannot see Yahuwah in peace. Only Ruach and truth, and only Ruach and truth can literally worship him. So we should be striving every day to throw off the garments of this flesh, throw off the garments of darkness, of wickedness, and put on the robe of righteousness. The wise and foolish virgins, even the oil that they had, the extra oil that the wise virgins had, is in representation of light, oil burning in the lamp that lights the way, and the light is the law, and that's why Yahuwah is awakening his people in the land of our captivity. And he said that we will begin to remember ourselves, and we will come back to the law, statutes, and the commandments, because it is in fact the law that lighted the way. And we were the only nation, or the only people that were given the law, what would the word be? We were given dominion over the law, or access to the law, to teach the other nations of his goodness, of his hasad, or his mercy, kanai, of his grace, his favor. But we failed to do that, and it got stripped from us, and that's why the faces of the judges are covered, like I stated before. But nevertheless, as we awaken to this truth, we are coming back to the law, and the law is, what lights our path. And the law is not to hold us in bondage, but to keep us in relationship. And relationship is ultimately which gives us access to the kingdom and to the king. Because the scripture said that in the end, many will say, Lord, Lord, or Master, Master. Yahusha, Yahusha, YAHUAH YAHUSHA. And he will say, depart from me, you workers of iniquity, I never knew you. Because there was no relationship, there was no intimacy. There was no fellowship. And this is a two-way relationship. It's not one-sided. We must learn one another. And as we fellowship, with the Most High daily. It's daily, 2-3 times a day, as Daniel said. He prayed and went before the throne in the presence 3 times a day. This is what forms the bond. And she all in fact said that I'm bonded to the good news. I'm in bondage to the good news. I'm in chains for the gospel's sake, for the good news sake. So if I am in bondage to anything, let me be in bondage to the King of Light and not to the King of the night. So the next scripture I want to go to is Exodus 20 verses 21. And it reads, and the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Yahuwah was. So again, people, I want to remind you that it's in the thick darkness. In the thick darkness is where Yahuwah actually dwells. And that's why he speaks of his nature as beautiful and terrible. He is both. He is light and he is darkness. So the only way we need fear darkness is if we are in fact outside of the light giver or the light bearer. If we are in Yahuwah and Yahusha, then there's no need in being afraid of the darkness. And I like that. I like how it says here, and the people stood afar off because they were afraid of the darkness. They were afraid of Yahuwah, because they were in sin, and sin separates us from the Most High. But here it says, and the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Yahuwah was. And in this thick darkness is actually where we begin to find our healing, our restoration, our covering, our light. And that's why Yahuwah had to put us into outer darkness, or into the thick darkness, so we would in fact begin to find our way back to him. He is in the darkness. So when the enemy asks, because there's a scripture that specifically says, and they ask, where is our power? Where is our mighty one? Where is Yahuwah of hosts? Where is he who is the power of Yasharal? Has he in fact gone away from his people? Sorry, he has not. He is in the gross darkness. He is in the thick darkness. He is here in the midst of us. He has never left us. He holds us even in the land of our captivity. And in a little while, he will make himself known once again to YAHUAH and into the world. And these plagues, just like in Egypt, because the scripture said, I will set my hand a second time in Egypt and deliver my people. So we are in fact in spiritual or Ruachio Egypt, or modern day Egypt. That is what America represents. And Yahuwah will set his hand a second time and deliver us. He will deliver his people. And he will bring the plagues once again, and they will fall in this place. And he will show our enemies, in fact, that he has always been in the thick darkness with us. So I want to read for you the definition of thick. Thick states darkness, gloominess, calamity, wickedness, dustness, misfortune, concretely concealment. We have been concealed. The scriptures say we are the hidden ones. Very dark, gloomy. They not only call us these bywords and proverbs like dark, darky, monkey, goon, what's some more? Black, blackie, a nigger, which derives from Niger. You know, all these names that they have given us. The Most High said that they will indeed give us these names. They will call us these things. But I don't take this. I don't take these words offensively anymore. Cause for me, it just means that I am his child, and he is in the midst of my darkness. He is in the midst of my gloominess, in the midst of my calamity. He is in the midst of me groping in the noonday. He is literally in my darkness. The scriptures say in Revelation, I look exactly like him. Hair of wool, eyes as if burned in the fire, eyes as fire, and feet as if burned in an oven. What does that look like to you? Looks just like, I'm sure if he was here, you know, when Yahusha walked here, they would have called him darky, blackie, monkey, goon. They would have called him all these names too, because he looked just like us. So now I'm proud when they call me these things, because I know that Yahuwah is in the midst of my darkness. All praises to Yahuwah and Yahusha. I want to take you to Isaiah chapter 60, verse 12. And it reads, For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. And that is literally what is going to happen to the other nations and the other kingdoms that will not choose to serve us willingly, or you know, who will not bow down before us, because the scriptures say that they will bow down before us, that they will serve us, that they will literally bow before our feet. So I want to say all praises to Yahuwah and Yahusha for that. I'm going to go back to the scriptures now. And now I will go to the scriptures for light, and I will read the definition of light first. Light is Strong's, the Hebrew definition is light of day, light of heavenly luminaries, daybreak, dawn, morning lights, light of lamp, light of lights, light of prosperity, light of instruction. Psalm 77:13 says, Thy way, O Yahuwah, is in the sanctuary. Who is great, Elohim, or mighty one? Who is great, Elohim, as our power? Joshua 1:8 reads, Joshua 1:8 reads, This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Psalm 119, 105 through 112 reads, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Thy word, who is the word? John 1:1. The word is Yahusha. And right now in this darkness, Yahusha, he is the word. He has come in the volume of the book. He is the volume of the book. Who is worthy to open the seals? Yahusha. So thy word, Yahusha, is a lamp unto my feet in this realm and a light unto my path. A light back unto eternal places. A light back to the garden. A light into heavenly places. I have sworn and I will perform it, that I will keep thy righteous judgments. I am afflicted very much. Quicken me, O Yahuwah, according unto thy word. Accept, I beseech thee, the free will offerings of my mouth. O Yahuwah, and teach me thy judgments. My soul is continually in my hand. Yet do I not forget thy law. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from thy precepts. Thy testimonies have I taken as a heritage forever. Thy testimonies, Yahuwah's testimonies, his word, his judgments, the laws, the statutes, the commandments, the precepts, the testimonies. It is our heritage, people. So-called African Americans. It is our heritage. It is who we are. It makes us. It creates us. It holds us. It keeps us. It continues us. It's not their heritage, it's our heritage. For they are the rejoicing of my heart. I have inclined my heart to perform thy statutes always, even unto the end and into eternity. The rest of the definition of light is the light of face. 2 Corinthians 4 and 6. And it reads, For Yahuwah, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness. Yahusha is this light since the beginning. For Yahuwah, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts. So this same light shines in our hearts, all those who are children of the light. Yahusha lives and dwells in our temples. That's why the scriptures say that we are living epistles. Our lives should literally show Yahusha. It should be a living testimony. Our lives are living epistles. They are scriptures written in these times for people to see the work of Yahusha in this realm. So for Yahuwah, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the esteem of Yahuwah in the face of Yahushua HaMashiach. So, Yahuwah has given us the light of the knowledge of the truth. So we no longer follow the ways of man. We no longer listen to the lies of white supremacy or the lies or the traditions of man. We don't celebrate pagan holidays. No, all those, that's not our heritage. Let's go back to the scriptures. Let's Google, let's research what our heritage is, so that we will not be led astray. We didn't always worship, we didn't always celebrate these pagan holidays. These holidays are from Satan, from the Roman Catholic Church, from Greek mythology. Let's understand who we are and act accordingly. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Yahuwah and not of us. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. We are cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body of the dying of our Master Yahusha, that the life also of Yahusha might be made manifest in our body. For we which live are always delivered unto death for Yahusha's sake, that the life also of Yahusha might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. So then death worketh in us, but life in you. We having the same Ruach of belief, according as it is written, I believed and therefore have I spoken. We also believe and therefore speak, knowing that he which raised up the Master, our Master Yahusha, shall raise up us also by this Yahusha, and shall present us with you. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant hasad, or favor, might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the esteem of Yahuwah. Let's read number 6, 24 through 26. May Yahuwah bless thee, or Baruch thee, and keep thee. May Yahuwah make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee shalom. Psalms 27. Psalms 27 reads, verse 1, And Yahuwah is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Most High is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. So Yahuwah, Yahusha is our light and our salvation. Daniel 7:18 reads, But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So for our light afflictions, we shall inherit the kingdom of Yahuwah. Deuteronomy 32:8 reads, When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Yasharal. For Yahuwah's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Let me read that again, because that's beneficial. It's of great importance. Listen to this, my people. For all those who say it doesn't matter, and that the Most High doesn't look at color, or it doesn't matter who the people are. When people are beginning to awaken to the fact, and you tell them, that in fact the so-called African Americans are the true children of the Most High, then people start to say, well, it doesn't matter. What does it matter? We're all his children. Okay, well, let me read this one more time. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8. And let me start at verse 7. Remember the days of old. This is what Yahuwah is telling his people. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations, because Yahuwah does not go back on his promise. He does not change. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. In everything, he is eternal. He is continual. So he's not going to change up. He's not going to say, these are my people. This is my inheritance. These are my children. This is my nation. I'm betrothed to these people. I am their husbandman. And then change up and get a whole different group of people. He's not crazy. He's not confused. He does not have a mental disorder. He is not like man that he shall lie. He changes not. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if he has promised that there's a people and that he will surely deliver them, then that's what it's going to be. Now, will he bring in the Gentiles? He will. He will do just what he says he will do. But that does not negate the fact of a people that have always and will always be his people eternally. We came from the deepest part of him. We are him. We literally look like him in the Ruach and in the flesh. Come on, people, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, because this is important. This is of vital importance. Remember the former things. Remember the days of old. That's what he's telling us. Remember the fourth commandment, because Lucifer will surely take it away. White supremacy will surely remove it. The Vatican will surely remove it, so that we will be worshiping on Sunday, sun worship, Illuminati, so that we will be giving them honor and not the Most High Yahuwah, so that we would grieve him, we would continually grieve him, and that we will worship and bow down to Satan. Because maybe most of us wouldn't do it willingly. Some of us wouldn't do it willingly. Time is shortened for the elect's sake, because even the elect would be deceived. Okay, come on, I need you to get this. This is deep, my people. This is deep. So Yahuwah does not change. He says, in the land of your captivity, I will cause my people, the ones who hear my voice, to remember themselves. There's a reason why we need to remember ourselves. Come on now. This is not fun and games. We have to remember ourselves for a reason. So it says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Yasharah, not the camps of Edom, not to the Greek, no, not the Asians, not to Ham. He didn't say that. He would number the people according to the number of the children of Yasharah. For Yahusha's portion is his people. Yahuwah's portion, eternal portion, forever portion. Yahuwah is not like man. He don't need to get a wife today and divorce her tomorrow. He's not idle. He is consistent. We will always and forever remain his portion. For Yahuwah's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. An inheritance stays in the family throughout all generations. The inheritance isn't left to the neighbors down the road or across the street. The inheritance is given within the family. It stays within the family from generation to generation to generation. Yahusha is our kinsman redeemer. He came from the tribe of Yehudah. Yahuwah didn't get somebody from the camps of Edom to deliver his people. That's backwards. He doesn't work like that. Yahusha is from the stem and the root of Jesse or Yesi. Okay? The bloodline. Yahusha's blood literally flows through our veins. Literally, people of color. His blood literally